Hey everybody, this is FL799, and today we're going to talk about Colt modular carbines. Case in point, we're looking at a Colt MARC 901. They made these for a couple years. Originally, the CM 901 was developed, and if you want to learn a lot more about these, Chris Bartocci at Small Arm Solutions goes through this with a fine-tooth comb. The guy who came in designed it as a contractor, and what Colt was hoping to accomplish, some of the engineering challenges that they overcome, and how it became the finished product. But this was a request for proposal for a SCAR program to have a multi-caliber battle implement. And while some of the competition, went with interchangeable barrels, Colt did something a little bit different, a lot outside of the box, and did it through the use of a integrated lower that used an adapter plate to allow the pinning of a 556 or any other caliber that works in that framework on a common lower. And Colt absolutely succeeded. It works great. You pin that in, undo your upper receiver, put the appropriate buffer and spring in, and you're ready to go. And you can do it. Well, it doesn't take me a minute. The literature and people say you could do it. It takes a couple minutes, but you get the idea. The original variant, even the CM901 had a quad rail. Same exact rail, but rather than having those screw-in Picatinny sections on the 6 o'clock, 9, and 3 o'clock, there were full-length rails on there. This variant shaved about a pound off of it. Those were like 9.5, 9.4. This got down to 8.4 pounds, which was respectable, for a 7.62 AR-10 platform with what I consider a relatively heavy profile barrel. And we'll talk about that a little bit. But Colt, unquestionably, I know a lot of people are going to howl at the moon, oh, Colt this, Colt that, but Colt is good at making Colts, and that means, maintaining a level of military-grade quality to their products and design. Is it always cutting edge? No. But they'll work. And these are, and their full auto cousins, in the hands of militaries, particularly in Malaysia and other places in the world as well. So these are well tested and well designed with input from a lot of our finest and special operations in the United States military. So just a couple things you might note. I run rugged suppressors. I put a rugged suppressor flash hider on there. Works great suppressed. I use a rugged razor mostly with this, and very, very nice setup. Some of the feedback, special operations wanted to use a bayonet lug. So there it is. It's got an outstanding flip-up sight, push button activated up or down. You've got a monolithic upper rail. There's the top rail with the T-sections. One of the best ambidextrous setups I've ever seen on an AR for a mag release, mag catch on both sides. We'll flip it over here in a circuit. Interesting is that the back half is really AR-15, from fire control, Buffer tube takes any normal AR-15 556 butt stock. I added the Griffin Armament 8.3 pistol grip. I thought it was a good match for this. TA-11 with the green chevron and 7.62. I've had lots of different optics on here. That one seems to fit the bill on here very nicely for its role. It's got the Colt branded Troy rear flip sight. And I added that latch. And that will lead to a couple cons. I mean, this is really a proprietary system. Doesn't share parts with really anything on the market, including the charging handle. I know there's a new one out there. I need to buy it. But this fits the bill, works with the scope just fine. I just added the latch to the factory charging handle. My TA-11's on an American Defense mount. So really what you got with the bolt is, when I've checked it, everything's clear. Front half is 308 sized, and the back half is 556 size. Keeps weight down, keeps that receiver, the proportions are tidy, but maintains just the great strength in the front for 7.62 NATO. The Velter stock is from the factory. I haven't changed a whole lot on this because it really didn't need it. There's a couple things to suit my preferences. Ironically, Colt ditched the ambidextrous fire control selector with the MARC for some reason. There were no rhyme or reason which ones got it or which didn't. I think the earlier ones all got it, and they even included that. Of course, when they upgrade to the MARC, we lose the ambidextrous safety, and then you got to pay for that separate. Go figure. Anyway, Colt works in mysterious ways. Well, what else was I going to mention about this? A couple things. The barrel contour is quite heavy under the handguard. You can get a look at it in there. And I guess it fulfills, it's not quite, well, it's not a medium contour, it's like a medium heavy. But I think that was with feedback from some of the folks customers they were talking to for sustained fire and maintaining a level of accuracy. I know the barrel nut's proprietary, but you can buy the tool. There are people out there who cracked the code and dimensioned the proper tools to pull off the barrel nut. And I know a lot of guys who are really into the 901s and the CM762s have, sent the barrel off to have them recontoured or fluted or whatever. I don't think I'm gonna do that. It's really not too bad in its current form at 8.4 pounds with optic, and ready to go. You're talking 10.5, give or take. It's not bad. It balances okay. But I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize the accuracy that I've witnessed from this this Colt, and it's capable of MOA with decent ammo. It doesn't have to even be great ammo. Shoots very well. I don't know if that's because of the monolithic upper. I'm not sure if is it the barrel profile, but yeah, Colt's got a pretty accurate platform here. And there are a couple other folks out there that actually on YouTube do some bench shooting, and the results speak for themselves there. But interesting thing is I like to do my own little shootouts. I brought all my 7.62 battle rifles, M1As, HK 91, PTR 91 GI, but Keltec RFB, FAL. I just brought them the range. I was doing some sight-ins with the new optics, and if I had to take one out for any problems whatsoever, this is the one I'm gonna grab and go. There's no question about it. This is tier 1 grade, and not that the other ones aren't, but again, Colt, the military spec, military processes are all in this rifle. That you could bet your life on this. And say what you want about Colt, but that's one thing you can't take away from them. So, just my thoughts on it. This is my favorite 7.62 NATO AR-10 type platform. I know there are newer ones and more exotic ones, and I'm loving what POF is doing with the 7.62 and an AR-15 size platform, and we're just shrinking these things down. But for my money, this is still walks the walk and talks the talk. And that's where I put my chips on this one all day long. So if you ever see these or you're in the market, I don't think you can go wrong with it. I think the prices have come down enough, and I mean, things are a little crazy now in the market with the some of the uncertainty that's happening, but I'm glad Colt's producing them again. I'm glad that we're starting to see some spare parts get back into the channel. They come and they go. Brunel's has them. You pick up spare parts here and there as you see them. But I haven't had any problems with this platform. I've owned it for quite a few years. I've been following this since 2012 when they were developing it, and knowing that someday I would own one. And when I found it, saw it in person, it was a done deal. And this is the only one I've ever seen. You don't come across these too often, but I do have a Geisley SSAE in there. That does contribute to a really nice shooting 7.62 carbine, battle rifle, DMR. Kind of fills a lot of shoes. And then add multi-caliber, put your zeroed optic on there for military service. Far better solution than switching out barrels and having to re-zero. I mean, we all know that, right? And I've tried a bunch of different uppers on here. Works great. I don't swap them often. The capability's there to do it. But think of it this way. If there's some sort of weird ban, and we don't know what's coming after November, I'll tax stamp this lower. And if I had to keep one rifle that does it all, this is going to be the one. Think about that for a second. I can run pistol, everything you want to run with this. 300 blackout. I could put my Rattler upper on here and it will work great. So that could be an advantage sometime in the future. Unless you want to spend a lot of money stamping lowers, this is one that would really cover it if you could only own one, or that's the one to get. So hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, questions, got a lot of trigger time on this. These aren't loaners. I own these. I bought it, and I think I paid $1,800 for it in the peak of the market, and it was well spent. That was several years ago when they first came, probably around 2016-ish. So any comments, give me a holler, and I'll do my best to answer any questions you may have. I'll talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed this retrospective.